It's the Boomsday Project Inn-vitational, and it's our final match of the day that's coming up. And that's Admirable. He's Dr. Jiggling, and what a crazy game we just came off of. Mechathune almost able to get there.
It's just so crazy. I know we were talking about just now. It's like, just, do you know how crazy you have to get to that game state? Like, just having the Mechathune, discovering it, and then Rainy Hour, I think, not realizing it till he saw how aggressively the draw was coming out, and then finally was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
What if we just lose the Mechathune?
Right. At a certain point, you're looking at it and you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
and
why
then you
are
go,
they drawing?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, my question is, does the weapon count?
That's what I was curious about. I was wondering that. I was curious if, does the weapon count on the battlefield? Because I thought the original text reads minions, but then you said it reads just cards on the battlefield.
Mechathune says if you have no cards in your hand, your deck, or in the battlefield.
So do weapons count? Because Gorehound would have stuck there forever.
That's my question. I don't know. I haven't tested the interaction yet. Further experimentation required. Either way, we have one more match. It's North America versus Europe is what's coming up in this one. So looking forward to seeing how North America can put a point on the board here. Very vital to them. And Europe looking to still continue that fight as well. We've been seeing some crazy decks throughout the day. I think that the decks we've seen from Korea and from Chinese Taipei have been, like, insane. Like, we saw the Pogo Hopper madness.
They're the craziest ones.
These crazy Shaman games go to fatigue. All sorts of crazy nonsense.
But then again, on the side of EU and NA, they've got the more, I would say, tame ones. They went for the try-hard approach of just trying to maximize their chances, bringing decks like Odd Paladin, Zulok, Malagos Druid, and I believe they're both near the bottom of the leaderboards right now.
Well,
so look where that got them.
Sometimes it just be that way. We got one more interview. We're gonna have Jackie Chan that we're gonna be talking to. Jackie, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can.
How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing very good. It was actually exhausting even watching those last games, but yeah, I'm good.
Normally, I would take you for the kind of player who takes great pride in having games that go to that length and that sort of craziness.
I do. And I've very much enjoyed watching them. For this event, we kind of brought like one deck each, but my deck has been banned every time so far, so I haven't been able to play my deck yet, which is my rogue. But it's not banned this time, so we might see some fun stuff.
I was just about to ask what that was, but don't tell me now. I want to keep it a secret. Are you feeling confident you guys are going to take the set now that your rogue is unbanned, though?
I mean, it's NA. Of course we're feeling confident.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Jackie?
That one stung.
I'm not trying to say anything.
It's a dagger to my heart. You know that? Well, good luck in your series, Jackie. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you can put on a good show for us here.
Love you guys.
Love you too. I love you too, Mom. Yeah.
That one stung, Admirable. I'm still recovering from that last comment. I thought Ants Free You was really good. I thought that one was very appropriate, but that was inappropriate, Jackie. You know it.
They all sting in a different way to me. I'm like, ooh, that would hurt me if, but here I am instead. I'm looking forward to the last set, though. I mean, Jackie, like I said, his rogue has been banned in the prior sets, and this time it's available to him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of crazy stuff he's cooked up. Jackie loves to brew every now and again. And
there's two main ways you can really go with rogue right now. There's that Pogo Hopper rogue that I think you're a huge fan of, just making huge bunnies. And there's also the route of the Death Rattle version that we haven't seen too much of, where you just kind of capitalize on Carnivorous Cubes and cards like that, like with the Necrean Vial, just copying the Death Rattle twice.
Those are the two ones that I've really seen take the forefront and take the limelight here. As we take a closer look at the lineups and what's available, Druid banned away from Europe in this one, and the Warrior's been banned away from North America here. And the Warrior, I think, is we saw it pretty much struggle in the last set. Was able to finally pick up a win against a Shaman deck because the Shaman did not have an indefinite amount of resources.
Yeah, and I think that was partly because, what the Warrior queued into. It queued into those decks like the Rogue from Korea that just had that infinite value generation through Valera the Hollow and to the Mechanical Robot on a pogo stick.
Mechanical Robot on a pogo stick.
That happens to be a bunny.
That is a description of what it does, Pogo Hopper. It's a 2-mana 1/1 mech, of course. Gets +2/+2 for each prior Pogo Hopper that you'd played.
And so with Valeera, it gets pretty crazy because you guarantee the other Pogo Hopper instantly with Death Shadow.
Yeah, we saw him get up to like 23 attack, I think
They
it was.
were pretty ridiculous.
Pretty large bunnies hopping around on some pogo sticks, I'll tell you what. We did see the Druid band away, of course, Malagos Druid using Phlebinus Floop. It's the Druid Legendary. It's a 4-mana 3/4. It says it's a copy of the last minion that you played at a 4-mana 3/4. So if it's in your deck still, it remains Phlebinus Floop. But once you have it in your hand, it becomes a copy of that last one you played, and it stays that until you play another one. Summons don't count. If you make like a Spreading Plague token or for Malfurion or what have you, it'll stay exactly what it was before.
Yeah, very versatile card. You know, you have that potential of copying the Malagos that just allows you to not run Twig of the World Tree anymore. You kind of just get that 4-mana Malagos there. It's also just sometimes good to, you know, have another Arcane Tyrant, especially against an aggro deck. You go Spreading Plague, you kind of get those 1/5s on the board, and then you play 2 Arcane Tyrants. You know, that's annoying. Now imagine a third one, even if it is a 3/4, you know, that's not that much different on the stat line.
Yeah, it's something I've really taken a big shine to about a lot of Boomsday Project looking decks I've seen so far is that the order in which you do things, your sequencing and your game plan overall seems to matter a lot. Like sometimes your patience or, you know, rather your lack thereof can be a big benefit to the way the games are going because doesn't feel like it's clear-cut and defined thing where you're like, I know what my deck does, I'm going to do that thing, and I'm going to watch how it works in this matchup. Here, it feels like there's a lot of adaptation and on-the-fly stuff that's going on. Like even just with the aggro decks here, like Trump's opening hand with Soul Infusion, like this can change the way that you just mulligan your cards. Like if this Doubling Imp is on the left instead of the right, do you just keep it here?
It's also, I mean, that's a very good question to ask because, you know, hitting Soul Infusion onto a couple of minions are just very strong. I will say, though, in Zulok Mirrors, sometimes, you know, just hitting on a 1-drop, just having something more powerful that can take value trades in the early game is pretty strong as well.
Well, you keep it here because you're able to just slide the 1-drop in.
Yeah.
That moves the Doubling Imp over, and then Soul Infusion says buffs the leftmost minion in your hand for +2/+2. So on Doubling Imp, it makes a copy of itself when it comes into play. That's just 1 mana investment to create 4/4 of stats on turn 3. That's huge.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful effect. But I kind of like Soul Infusion for what it can do. I mean, sometimes it can be a little, you know, clunky because if you don't have the minion that you want to hit. But when you have the minion that you want to hit, that's when it's really strong.
It's spicy then. It's going to be a mirror match of these Warlock decks, of course. Tice is, yeah, both of these teams seem to be featuring the Demon Warlock aggressive style, which we've seen Void Analyst included in the lists. It's a 2-mana 2/2, says Death Rattle. Buff all the demons in your hand +1/+1.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini Prince Kaliseth. I mean, it works more for your hand, but sometimes you'd rather have that buff onto the minions in your hand. That way, when you're continuously playing them on curve, it just kind of helps you out that much more. But here we see the power of this Soul Infusion, just making Doubling Imp 3-mana 4/4, summon another 4/4.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy powerful. And if you guys are looking to, you know, try out some of these crazy powerful decks, they are all now available on playhearthstone.com. You can go in there and see all the lists that have been played today amongst all the teams and players. You get to brew in yourself. You can try them out, make modifications to the list. It's been a wonderful day at Hearthstone.
It really has. A lot of crazy things have happened. A lot of games have gone so long. And we can see here, although that Doubling Imp put in a lot of work, it really wasn't, it was made quick work of by the Soulfire and the Demon Fire. I'm trying to remember the name of Demon Fire. Typically, I play Prince Kaliseth in the 2 slots, so I don't have to remember the name of the 2 drops.
Well, you know, North America's on board with you there. Kaliseth in the 2 slot.
It's definitely very powerful.
Nice able to get bored here. Trump's got, you know, more cards, but so many times the Zoo matchup is about board.
Yes. I mean, you could have 10 cards in your hand, but if you have no way to win the board back, you're ultimately losing the game.
You want to get those cards in play. Fungalmancer's not looking so good when you don't have that board.
They're really good for those value trades in the mid game when, you know, you kind of are fighting for board. That kind of, when a Fungalmancer comes down onto 2 minions, you basically win the board at that point a lot of the times. But Fungalmancer, when you have no board, is probably one of the saddest cards in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Not much mushroom power is going on him.
He's not so fun.
More of a unfun Ghoulmancer.
Very elegant.
I'm glad you liked it.
Thanks.
Unfun Ghoulmancer.
Ooh.
And see, Despicable Dreadlord a lot of time in these mirror matches is just very valuable tool because it's one of the very few cards in Zoolock that allows you to actually fight back for the board when you may have lost it or when you want to take certain value trades, but it doesn't exactly kill the minion. And I do like this.
Card is just so good.
Card's really good. Ooh, but that Doom Guard.
Yeah, but there's taunts in the way right now.
That is true.
It's not looking so hot. You know, I'm thinking Fungalmancer this may be his time.
Go Soul Infusion, Fungalmancer, take a value trade, get a 4/4 on the board. It is a little awkward, but you kind of have to fight for the board somehow. You have to do something to get this board back. But then again, Soul Infusion, Fungalmancer doesn't feel like the greatest play either. I might still just commit to this Doom Guard. Because at least with the Doom Guard, when you commit to it, you kind of have something to fight for on the board. If you go for the Soul Infusion Fungalmancer, the Despicable Dreadlord will take a value trade into the Fungalmancer and then just clean up the Prince Kaliseth with its effect.
You know, gosh darn it, I think you're right.
Have I sold you on the Doom Guard?
It's a 6/8 Doom Guard.
I'll be here all day.
Now you're back. You got something to use. Well, now you're
we
gone.
spoke way too soon.
You got nothing to use. You know what? Gosh darn it, it was a good try, though.
It was a good run. It was a good run, Admirable. Sometimes, it's just not enough. I mean, maybe another Despicable Dreadlord off the top or something like this. It's something working.
That card's big.
It's pretty good. Can even fit in the life tab. Just keep going with the draw. Despicable Dreadlord would have been a good one just because it would have cleaned up that other Despicable Dreadlord pretty well. But at least with, Serenite Chain Gang, it forces the Dreadlord to trade in. And it also forces 2 other minions in. And with that, you kind of fight for the board back a little bit. But Tice is just going to keep life tapping and developing a board of his own. But these are 2, I would say, weaker draws.
This is Kaliseth minions versus
As
non-Kaliseth minions.
Yeah. One thing that Tice can actually do is not even trade with the Despicable Dreadlord and just take a bump. That way he gets the Despicable Dreadlord damage. And the Serenite Chain Gang has to go into either the 3/2 or the 2/4, and if it does, then the Dreadlord will clean it up on the following turn. But that risks your opponent drawing Despicable Dreadlord of themselves.
It also just risks your opponent being able to land their second Fungalmancer here, for instance. Like Tar Creeper Fungalmancer.
That's true.
This is not a joke. This is some real attack and health that's coming out of Trump's deck all of a sudden. He's got Soulfire next turn in the back of the sun. We still got fight left.
There is definitely a game to still be had here as Mushroom Power comes down.
Life totals are even.
Board states are not, though. This is getting close. It still favors Tice at this moment because Tice is going to be able to keep hammering the initiative, keep life tapping to play 2 minions a turn, whereas Trump is going to be kind of on the back foot the entire time. But, I think Trump, Mayor of Value Town, can eventually get there.
I couldn't tell you which one of these is better to attack based on the draws that can happen. But face up on board, I think it's better to hit that 2/4. So if you're attacking that 3/2, I imagine there's draws that are being accounted for with that play.
I think so as well. I mean, attacking the 3/2 does make it a little awkward for the second Despicable Dreadlord. That gets picked up because then it can basically full clear the board while still having 2 Dreadlords, which is really powerful. But right now, Tice hasn't had the most impactful draws. I mean, they've been decent, but they haven't been Doom Guards. They haven't been another Fungalmancer. They haven't been like that yet.
I wonder.
Needs the goods. Right now, he's got the mediocres.
It's better than the Offlers.
Yeah, that's true.
And there we see the board is just kind of in Tice's control right now. Not really much Trump can do. I mean, he can play a Flame Imp, maybe Soulfire the Void Analyst, get a life tap in, hopefully find something there. I believe there's still another Serenite Chain Gang in there. That'd be really good.
Yep, you still got Kaliseth minions. So they're still pretty good. This is a big draw, though.
Voidwalker kills 2 minions.
He'll
I'll
take it.
take it.
That's why Keleseth's good. This went from dying to nothing to suddenly killing 2 minions.
He was just back and forth. Oh. That is a massive draw.
Huge draw from Tice.
It'd be very unfortunate if he got like 3
Oh.
cards he couldn't play. Oh, the Void Ripper helps answer the Void Walker. You can then commit the Soul Fire and clear up another thing while also demon firing one of your minions.
See, that's the thing is you get the Void Ripper, right? Then you can Demon Fire and you can Soul Fire. Do you want to Soul Fire is my question, because you definitely want the Saronite Chain Gang in hand. And you can use the Void Ripper, you trade a minion, and then you use Demon Fire to trade over the Flame Imp and leave a 4/1 behind.
That is true. You can just take the value trade. The question is it worth pushing this extra damage? Because Trump right now is on 13 health.
I want the Saronite. That absorbs 2 attacks.
But in doing so, you do push 4 less damage. Oh, it looks like I'm just going to go for, I guess, a hybrid play and keep both the 2/2s around. Just to maximize how much board pressure there is.
Sea Giant's a good card, but you need stuff to defend.
Doomguard's not enough. There's just 7 on the return. Error, error.
Mechadrax is malfunctioning.
Oh, the Doomguard, I love it.
Insult to injury. Tice takes the first game. You stabilize the board position, you get ahead, and then attacker's initiative is what carries you through. Even despite the Keleseth, even despite the big draws in the mid-game, it was being able to take and keep board position. That was the big difference in that one.
Yeah, it
That's
really
how
was.
the aggressive matchups work.
Yeah, that's a lot of times how the Zulok mirrors work. You just kind of, take those value trades when you can and make sure to capitalize on the board state that you have in the early game. I mean, there are a little bit of tools like Despicable Dreadlord to try and help you kind of come back in the game. And then the Prince Keleseth buff we saw helped out a lot, but even the Prince Keleseth buff was not enough to get them back in the game.
Yep. Just sometimes it bees that way. But that's just really how that matchup rolls. I think the aggressive Warlock decks are looking really good. I think a lot of the aggressive decks, honestly, are just looking pretty good. They just have strong tools. But there are some pretty substantial ways to fight against them. I mean, one of the big ones that comes to mind to me is Giggling Inventor. Just summon 2 Annoyatrons, soak up some attacks, then weaken the board position to, some AoE cards. Like, one of the big ones that comes to mind for me is Consecration, where for Paladin, for so long I felt like I just struggled to aggressive decks. Where I'm like, I don't have a way to actually finalize the position. And now with Giggling Inventor, you can just soften up the board and then Consecration afterwards. I could totally see something working there.
Yeah, and the aggressive decks have been, doing so well on ladder and just in this kind of mini tournament play, because I would say that they're typically the easier decks to refine. A lot of times, you kind of know what you want to place in those deck lists, whereas with a control deck, you have so many just branching options of just, how you want to tweak certain tech options, whereas in aggressive decks, you want to make them as consistent as possible with what they do. You want to make sure they have the 1-drops, the 2-drops, you curve out as quickly as possible to kill your opponent, whereas with control decks, you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I should be playing this AoE or if I should be playing this one. So it is a little bit harder to refine those control decks, and I think with a little bit more time, because this set is still brand new, a little bit more time, we'll find some, pretty crazy control decks.
That's a lot of what control decks are about, though. You need to know what tools you need to bring to the job. I mean, you're trying to control what your opponents are doing. At the start of a metagame,
you don't know what they're doing.
They're all over the place. People are playing all sorts of crazy stuff. You're running into pogo hopper decks. You don't know what you need in order to beat your opponent. They're much harder to play in that circumstance. And it isn't really from like an in-game standpoint. It's from an outside-the-game standpoint. What do you bring to the table?
Pogo hopper.
I love me Pogo hoppers.
I mean, it's a really fun card. I've actually not played with it too much. I tried to build a Miracle Rogue list where I kind of played the Pogo Hopper and the 3/2 as well. The name is escaping me. The new one.
Lab Recruiter.
Lab Recruiter. I played those as well, and it was a lot of fun. But I queued into some Zuloks, queued into some Odd Paladins, and I went, all right, we're building Warrior. We're building Warrior.
To me, that's one of the most fun times of the new expansions is like this rapid evolution that you see against the opponents that you're playing against. Where like for 1 hour it'll be just nothing but aggressive decks. Then suddenly it's nothing but control decks. Then all of a sudden it's nothing but combo decks, and it just this rapid cycle of.
Or someone tweets out a deck list, and then you only see that deck list for the next hour. I think that's what the Shaman deck did. With what was it, Crane and Ike just made the mid-range evolve Shaman with Shutterwalk, and then
Yeah.
that was just running rampant on ladder.
Just like a tempo Shaman deck with Shutterwalks in it. Just for value. You're not trying to just OTK them with Shutterwalk. You're not trying to deliver a one-turn kill. You're just trying to just play good stuff.
I mean,
and do
sometimes
a
that's
lot
all
of
you
stuff
need.
with the cards.
Imagine 9 mana, 6/6. All right, I'm gonna sell you on this card.
I'm
9 mana,
sold.
6/6. I'm glad that's all it took.
Keep going though.
I was gonna say.
What else do I get?
You get 4 Annoyatrons, and you buff 2 of those Annoyatrons twice with Fungalmancer.
I'm down.
But there's more. Are we gonna find out more? Probably not. Maybe.
Dane's gonna
It's
be up,
Shaman.
and this is we saw it earlier. It's like a token Shaman variant. It's got Thunderhead, some Overload cards in there to make sure that you summon those extra 1/1 rush elementals. Thunderhead is a 4 mana 3/4. It says whenever you play an Overload card, you summon 2 1/1 elementals with rush. Some aggressive Overload support. That's what I like to see.
Just a powerful card overall. It's another one of those. There's a lot of cards in Hearthstone where you look at it, and as soon as he gets played on the board, you go, I have to kill that. Because if I don't kill that, it's going to just run rampant. Cards
Bad
like
things happen.
Houndmaster Shaw is a prime example right now when you see the Death Rattle Hunters that have been running around. You leave that card up for 1 turn, and you essentially lose the game a lot of times, especially if you're playing a board-centric deck.
It definitely can get a little bit rough in the waters when you let those important 4 mana cards live. Ali Strauss is up, and she's got a nice little 1-2 punch here. It's the attacker and the support.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite plays with Zulok, is to play the Voidwalker and then coin out the Flame Imp just to kind of back it up.
Yeah.
You say, you can't get to my Flame Imp. This thing's going to push a lot of damage.
It's the hard carry of the tank.
Is that what it is right
Yeah.
now?
Well, I mean, look at it. 1 mana 3/2.
It's a small tank. See, I want my tank to be Void Lord.
Well, it's the early level, you know.
We're just leveling up.
You got to give him some time. Yeah.
Understandable.
That's when Saronite Chain Gang and Giggling Inventor step in.
Yeah, they're the mid game. And then you have Void Lord for the final approach. It's crazy to think that Void Walker grows up into a Void Lord one day. You thought about that?
I'm so proud of you, son.
I'm so proud of you, little Void Walker. You did it. You stopped the Odd Paladin. You stopped.
And it's got Benjamin Button's disease as it reverts back into Void
Exactly.
Walkers.
What is it? Void Lord trench person. It's just Void Walkers in a trench coat.
This is stacked on top of each other. What? Let's go through like a grocery store line. Hand you a fake ID.
Oh gosh. You're not wrong. Hand from Dane though is looking a little awkward.
Well, I mean,
He does have some clear, but it's not really. It's you still leave stuff up.
you're a little bit behind where the pressure is concerned. So I think that's okay. Like you do have, stuff like Lightning Storm in your deck. You do have Giggling Inventor in your hand. Like I think you can wait some time here and then have the utility spells play a big role when they need to. I'm in Ali's spot right here. And I'm like, is a 3 mana 1/5 ever good enough? Like there's Doomguard and Fungalmancer in hand, so. When you're sitting there looking at this card, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where like I get in situations where I'm like, I don't know. A 3 mana 1/5 when you have Fungalmancer in hand still seems like a fine on the board play. You want stuff on the board when you hit 5 mana. And I don't know. Life tapping is like what I want to do, but I want to play a minion as well.
It's finding that hard balance of doing both, right? Because if you play the 3 mana 1/5 here, it is better onto the board, but you don't really have follow-up for the next turn. So by tapping, you're kind of looking for that follow-up, accepting that if you don't find that follow-up, you can just go ahead and play the 3 mana 1/5 next turn. You did have Soul Infusion, so that did help you out a little bit.
Woo.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That allows Corridor Creeper to come down.
I wonder if there's any merit to holding off 1 turn, just to kind of saying you have nothing, and then going out Cult Master, playing that, trading, and then doing the 1 damage to everything.
And that's exactly where my head was at too. Like quite opposite of the last turn, where my instinct is play a 1/5 for very little value on its effect. Here, I want to not use the effect on my stuff and wait a turn, but I don't know if that's right or not. This is what I mean. Like my brain just overloads, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Sorry, Admiral. That's why you have me here.
Thanks.
No problem.
I want to roll a totem.
I think that's a good way to start this turn. I think you do want to hold on to that Cult Master combo because right now your hand's kind of lacking. You do have AoE per se, but you don't really have any punch after that, and you can have this huge swing turn. Spell damage totem's pretty good. Could have gone for the 0 mana. Don't know if that was worth it though.
0 mana into 1 mana into Corridor Creeper. Wait, you don't have that much mana.
You would have been able to play
0 mana
Corridor
into Corridor
Creeper.
Creeper. Yep.
That seemed pretty solid.
I'm interested, but Giggling Inventor's so good. I want to play it on turn 5 every time.
It's just a difficult call because you force your opponent to respect the totem. And if they think you're not clearing the board this turn, they're like, oh, well, Dane doesn't have AoE.
Well, your opponent just did nothing. That's probably what they have if I'm in Ali Strauss's spot.
Either that or a bunch of awkward mid-rangey cards. And like you said, you're mentioning a lot about how Giggling Inventor just softens up the board state sometimes. If Giggling Inventor comes down next turn, it's just going to be able to soften up the board state for the potential Lightning Storm into other plays.
And that's where that Despicable Dreadlord I feel is so important. The aggressive decks are so much about balancing the board position just the right way. Doing nothing here is beautiful, I think.
I like the play from Ali Strauss, just kind of making the most of the cards that she currently has on board.
Chipping away.
Exactly. You force them to answer this board. Because as soon as they answer this board, then you just make another one.
You don't have to do everything. Just do enough. Now, I want to see them do everything. Because I want to see a spectacular explosion of counterplay. Regardless of which side it's from.
And some people are just more simple and want to see nothing.
Just want to see big stuff happen. Big stuff or tank up.
I definitely saw too much tank up for my need. Oh, and there we actually see, the 1 damage to all into the Giggling Inventor. And Giggling Inventor is a powerful card. You just can't really stress how powerful this card is. You just kind of look at it on the board and it just kind of makes the most utilization.
That's one card that did all that.
Yes.
That's how good Giggling Inventor is.
I'm just giggling thinking about it.
That's how good Despicable Dreadlord is. It's one card that does all this.
There's still 2 1/2s left around.
Yeah, but there's also a Despicable Dreadlord.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That card is so good.
And one of the issues with casting the lightning spell on the previous turn was that you're overloaded for 2.
Well, you did just draw Electro Storm Surge.
Electro Storm Surge with Lightning Storm, because Electro Storm Surge allows you to cast the same spell twice. It's a battle cry. As soon as you play it, a 3-mana 3/3, you cast the same spell twice. So you will be able to cast Lightning Storm twice, which is really good against Zulok, especially because you're guaranteed anywhere 4 to 6 damage to the entire board.
Yep.
And a lot of the minions have that perfect health range that you can kind of clear up.
Giggling Inventor allows you to hide a Cult Master behind these Annoyatrons as well, which I personally find extremely annoying when I'm against Cult Master.
I see what you did there.
It was tough.
I personally find it a little bit more obnoxious. Now the real question is, how do you balance all the cards? Because you do have kind of an awkward hand. Ali Strauss has been life tapping for a couple of turns now, and she has assembled, a lot of resources, but some of them, you really can't pair together. I mean, if you want to get the Sea Giant down, you can only really play the Flame Imp with it. If you want to try and go wide, you do have the potential for that, or if you want to try and stick something else, like, say, a Doomguard, or try and get a good Fungalmancer turn, there's a couple of different options here.
I mean, I do see a giant.
You see a giant?
Yep. that giant can be played. And you can play a thing with your giant.
That is true, but I don't know. I don't know about the Sea Giant here. I'm very indifferent on that because the 4/4 Fungalmancer is pretty powerful as well.
Dane is drawing away, too. And jungle... Knife juggler... Jungle Knifer. That's what I was about to say. I was about to say Jungle Knifer. Knife Juggler is looking insane with this. Thunderhead Knife Juggler, Voltaic Burst?
Voltaic Burst.
Is that the name of that card?
Yes, it is. Just like the other one is
Spark?
Jungle Knifer.
I don't know.
It might be Voltaic Spark.
Voltaic makes some 1/1 things, all right? The set's brand new. Give me a break.
Oh, it's so good here, getting so many knife juggles.
Well, not only that, there's a Cult
There's
Master
also
there.
a Cult Master on the
But
board.
the draw, like,
it's gonna keep drawing
it's
cards.
just Miracle Shaman.
I wouldn't go that far.
Wait till you see how many cards this is.
Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, it's Miracle Shaman.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a lot of stuff.
This is pretty absurd. Oh, that's just so good.
Look at how many cards.
And the
they're
Thunderhead's gonna
drawing.
stick.
They're drawing so many cards. This is
might be
the
drawing
only
too
thing
many.
this is the only thing I want to do in card games is draw cards.
Really?
Yeah, it's
So
the
your
coolest
favorite card
thing.
must be Myra. Myra's unstable element.
Yeah. And Thunderhead is scary.
Oh, when you leave Thunderhead around, it gets very scary. Especially with a Knife Juggler also. It's kind of cool to see, you know, just...
50% of the time, if I can kill my opponent or draw more cards, I will opt to simply draw more cards.
You're crazy. I'm going for kill my opponent every time. Both Sea Giants
Not
just
both of-
discarded.
Come on, Mark.
Oh, I mean, at least Alistraza still has the board. That's something that she has going for her, but discarding both Sea Giants?
Dane has 10 cards.
Dane has a whole army of Annoyatrons and Shaman cards. Oh, but this Giggling Inventor is just so obnoxious.
Yeah, how do you defeat this? It's
I think it's going to take
now look,
a lot, but it still can happen.
Cult Master had to live for all this nonsense to happen.
There was a turn where the Cult Master could have been cleared off.
But that's the kind of stuff that I love to see when new expansions come out. Is you go back and you look at all these old cards and you go, what can I do with this? And either Thunderhead or Cult Master sticking to a board means that the other one can threaten to create that sort of board position. If Thunderhead sticks, you get to play Cult Master and pop off. If the Cult Master sticks, you get to play Thunderhead and pop off. Stuff like that is always what I look for in a new expansion.
It's not just the new cards that come out. It's also the old cards
Exactly.
that you can give new life to.
How do they interact?
I mean, even if they're just seen for, say, the first week or two, it's still just kind of refreshing. I mean, a prime example is Raid Leader. I didn't think Raid Leader would see play that much at all. And then Odd Paladin came around, and Raid Leader's played in a lot of Odd Paladin lists. I believe it's standard now.
Well, now it's to Storm or not to Storm, and then to Electra or not to Electra. And I think I like to Electra.
I think I like the Electra Storm as well. You also set up just for that Bloodlust lethal in the following turn. Your opponent's getting really low. They just played one of the Serenite Chain Gangs. I definitely
To me,
want to see
that's one of the
Dane go for it
reasons
here.
to hold Electra is I want to Electra. This just clears out the entire board, and there's unstable evolution available.
And you can just play out all the Fireflies. The Bloodlust definitely wins the game
You
next
can
turn.
do that one. Now, Electra does cast the spell twice. You do Overload
Yes.
alongside it as well. But this Bloodlust is looking like it's going to end the game awfully quick.
Yeah, Dane's still going to have enough mana because he's going on a 10 extra to be able to cast that Bloodlust. But like you said, something to take note of sometimes is when you cast those Overload cards. If you cast it twice, you do get that second Overload.
Yeah, and I'd use this unstable as well. You're turning a 2/1, which is worth about 1 or 2 mana, into
a
a
7.
6 mana card.
A Tar Creeper. That's a taunt.
Oh, it is.
Will it be enough, Admirable?
No, it won't.
What about 2 taunts? I love how you gasped there, but it only kills one minion.
Oh,
It only
yeah.
kills one.
Because there's no Giggling Inventor in play, and it wouldn't even be enough anyway.
All right, is this the little tar creeper that could, Admirable?
No, it's not.
Doesn't even want to try.
Dane in Europe, 2-0. They've secured the set, however, this is not your typical Hearthstone tournament. We play Game 3 here.
Exactly. We play out all the games.
We want to see what the decks are like. We want to see those smiles. We want to see spectacular wins and tragic defeats, because that's what this weekend is all about. It's about showing off new cards, battling for glory, and having fun with some goofy new decks.
Exactly. Just having some fun with your pals, playing some new goofy mid-range Shaman decks, drawing 7 cards off Cold Masters, and thunderheading your opponents down.
That's all I want to do is draw cards. Is this why I like Ultimate Infestation so much?
I'm sure you love that game. I'm sure you
So
love
many
that
cards.
game.
These turn a 1/1 into a full hand. That Thunderhead Cult Master was Ultimate Infestation.
It really was, now that you
Except-
mentioned it.
Even better.
I love the term you used for Miracle Shaman. I thought that was very appropriate. That was
That
a lot
deck
of
was
knife
cool.
juggles, a lot of card draws, and a lot of 1/1s with Rush.
That was Fan of Knives. It was
Let's just
Auction.
name all the cards it was. It was Ultimate Infestation, it was Fan of Knives, it was Sprint. It was
And if you guys want to check out the new decks, they're all available. PlayHearthstone.com. Every single deck that's been played today, you can go check out there and build for yourself. It's been a lot of fun this weekend so far. And I know they've already got some new Bruin ideas. I've been looking for a way to use Thunderhead, because that's one of the coolest cards in the set, I think.
I think it's also one of the, I would say underrated. I believe it was, saw a tweet from Frozen was talking about how Thunderhead he thought was one of the most powerful cards of the set. And you can definitely see there the highlight of Thunderhead and how powerful of a card it was when it just full cleared the board, and it also just it was one of those threats. You have to clear it. You cannot leave that card up or it just snowballs out of
No
control.
siree, Bob, you cannot. Thunderhead is powerful, especially if you manage to pair it with Cult Master, apparently. Draw a ton
Or
of
Knife
cards.
Juggler.
Yeah, and that one.
Or both.
That deck was awesome. I can't wait to
That was
play
a lot
that
of
when
fun.
I get home.
I think that's the first one I want to give a try, is the mid-range Shaman. Like I said,
I could play it right now.
don't you dare. we got one more game, Admirable.
Well, I gotta make a note of it so I don't forget. Play Shaman.
Don't forget Thunderhead.
Thunderhead.
Cult Master. Knife Juggler.
Knife Juggler. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. So Europe again took the set here, but we are gonna play Game 3. We want to see what's going on with these crazy decks. I want to know what they're brewing up. And plus, if you're in North America's spot right now, you're like, ooh, we got to get at least one game.
You got
on
to
the
get
board.
something on the board, especially against Ant, after Ant just called EU free. So I think Ant definitely wants to get something on the board.
You got some explaining to do, Ant.
Yeah, what's going on, Team America? What's going on? What's going on?
God,
I just want to get on the board. That's all I want.
oh, jeez.
Oh, geez, Admirable. I just want to get on the board.
I'm sweating, and it's not because it's hot in here.
I definitely think Ant can do it, though.
I seriously think that Thunderhead game was my favorite game of the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of all the crazy shenanigans we've had happen.
That was pretty crazy. It was just a bunch of 1/1s. That's it.
So the Dr. Boom Mirror, the possible Mech-Cthulhu lethal, the Shaman discovering all these spells, and you decided to go with the 1/1s.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's because there's so much drawn in one single turn.
Fight with honor.
Oh, and there we get to see Jackie Chan on the Rogue.
Let's roll the bones.
Let's roll the bones Rogue against Odd Paladin. I don't think this is the matchup Jackie wanted to hit, though. I'm excited, though, because this is one of the decks I really wanted to see highlighted, was the Death Rattle Rogue.
I mean, how many Death Rattles is he playing if he's playing Roll the Bones?
Oh, I know he's... I think I actually saw him post to his Twitter this deck list, and I know there's the Bright Nozzles, there's Spirits of Umbra, there's... Or not Death Rattle, but just Death Rattle Synergies. I believe there's Cubes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's the new Myra card.
This hand is not looking so good.
Yeah, it's not looking the greatest, but, you know, you can just get there. Elven Minstrel, you can go ahead and coin that out when you get to turn 3.
Just wait till about turn 7 in Paladin time.
Oh, and Ant's hand is just... You know, it's looking like your typical Odd Paladin hand.
Well, I mean, Odd Paladin got a lot of mech type support. If that's the direction you want to take with it.
It did.
I would say that its total game resilience is a little bit less, but its overall burst potential seems a little bit higher. You know, one of the things that Odd Paladin didn't really do was like burst you out of the game. It's just that its board presence was overwhelming. It just kept continued turn after turn. There's just more stuff, more stuff. Odd Paladin's great at continuing to do that. The one thing it didn't really have was just blow you out of the game unless you just didn't kill any of their minions and then suddenly a big buff to board.
Yeah, with this new mech package, you do have a lot more burst, especially with the new magnetic cards. I mean, it kind of acts like Dire Maul in a way, but it gives you that extra versatility that I just love in cards. When you get that versatility of being able to, you know, buff this up or decide to go wider. It looks like Ant decides to go just for the buff to get a 2/6 on the board.
Job's done.
You just have to love those in cards. That's why some of my favorite cards were the Druid cards, the Choose ones, where you just had those branching options.
Well, I can tell you who doesn't have a ton of options at the moment. This is not the Cold Blood matchup.
No, it's really not.
This is the I really want Fan of Knives.
This is the can roll the bones, draw me a Fan of Knives, please.
You'd love to have a Thunderhead and a 1 damage to the board card right now.
But unfortunately for Jackie Chan, he has Mechanical Whelp and Silly Ass.
It's got a lot of heavy cards. And Jackie's got a smile on. He's trying to figure out what this puzzle's going to be.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll the bones. You see him get rid of the cards first, just in case he draws too many Death Rattle minions. I want to see how many Death Rattle minions he draws. Please tell me it's like the entire hand. Okay, that was only 2. That's still pretty good. Not against Odd Paladin, but for the most part, 2 mana draw 2 cards is pretty good. See, that's just another card that gets highlighted because of the new set that typically, you know, didn't see play. Roll the bones.
Yeah, again, this is not really the matchup for it, I'd say.
Oh, no, this is definitely not.
This is more of the, oh my gosh, did I put Abomination in here? I really hope I did.
Ant's just playing 1/1s and smorking them down.
Ant loves to do that, and honestly, I know where he's coming from, because I love aggro decks too.
Oh, I'm a huge...
You put him to the test. You go, no silly nonsense. Like, play some fair cards, all right?
Yeah, none of this greedy stuff.
Yeah, none of this
Clear my
hopper
board.
shenanigans. You fight my stuff,
Oh,
bro.
wow.
Oh,
That's
game ending.
yeah. And at least we got to see the new cards in Jackie's hand. We didn't get to see him get played, but at least we got to see him in the hand.
Look, sometimes it just bees that way, all right? There's a fine balance to building a deck that's too greedy, and that's what aggro decks are for. They're to bring you back,
Just kind of rein you in, make sure you're not out of control.
to the low ground. You go, you know what? You got to play some fair stuff, all right?
I will say that there was a chance for, as this is just lethal here, you can go ahead and Sacred Maul in. Or am I missing? Oh, Fungal Mancer's lethal too. It doesn't matter. You just go ahead and do whatever you want. I will say though, typically the Roguelists have been running Blade Flurry recently.
An Ant. It gets a win on the board.
Way to go, Ant! Get that win for USA. I love it.
Pretty darn quick game 3. We got a peek at War Gear. Look, the 2/6 forced a backstab and an eviscerate.
It really did.
You can't ask for much more at a 2/1/3s.
I was going to say, though, the one redeeming factor that Jackie Chan could have actually drawn into is I think a lot of those lists, they've been teching in Blade Flurry for that exact scenario. Because not only do you get rid of the Necrium weapon, but you also can trigger your Death Rattle when you do it as well. So you play the Blade Flurry to clear a Zoo Lock's board, and then you trigger, say, your Egg or your Bright Nozzle, whatever the Death Rattle minion may be on the board.
You spend a turn playing the 3/2 weapon, the Necrium Blade. You spend a turn playing an Egg. You're not doing anything to the board. Your opponent's going to be playing a bunch of minions and hitting you. Then you Blade Flurry, and suddenly you have a 5/5.
Exactly.
That's the idea. That's smart. That's some smart thinking right there. I believe we have standings coming up real soon because that was our final match of the day. We've seen a ton of cool decks, which again are all available on playhearthstone.com. Every deck that was played today, you can go check it out and start brewing it up. If you want to make some changes, feel free to do that. But, you know, I'd say give them a whirl in their current form right now. See how they feel. See what you like and what you don't like about it.
And if you log in, you're just going to get 3 free packs as well immediately.
Right.
And that's going to help you build these decks. If you want to go ahead and experiment with these decks, you just get, I believe it's 3 free packs and a free legendary.
That's right. If you haven't claimed that yet, make sure you log in and claim it now. But we do have our standings ready to see who won. And there it is, Korea with 3 match wins on the board in the round-robin stage. Korea went undefeated in match score in this one, and they claimed the Boomsday Project Inn-vitational first place.
Yeah, especially with such a crazy kind of wacky lineup. You saw their decks. They were not, you know, the typical decks you typically see from, let's say, North America. They went for the full try-hard mode. And
They had Lakari Sacrifice.
yeah, that was putting in work.
The Warlock Quest.
It went 1-1. That's 50% score.
I'll take it. That's a solid standing from Lakari Sacrifice.
That's probably better than the ladder standing for Lakari Sacrifice. Probably better than the ladder stats.
Oh, well, it's a lot better than I've ever done with that card.
I don't think I've ever played that card.
Normally, I discard a lot of cards and go, I'm dead. Good game for that one. But as Dr. J said earlier, if you have not claimed it, log in right now. Update your phone apps. Update your Battle.net. You log in now if you haven't claimed it. 3 free packs and a random class legendary just for logging in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so great to have so much, you know, access to these cards. You know, when you have to like spend less money and you get like the free packs all the time, it's just a great feeling. Because I will say though, I spend a lot of money on the game, but I know a lot of players don't. I like golden cards, so I need to spend as much as possible to get all the new golden cards.
You are preaching to the choir here.
I know we're like that, but a lot of people at home, you know, they
I need
don't
a
like
golden
golden
Zilliax.
cards. I think I
need
pulled
it.
one.
All right, well, I think it's going to wrap it up. Dr. J, what was your favorite part of today so far?
I really like the Warrior Mirror, where the Mechathune almost won. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really funny that, you know, Korea may not have figured that out until, wait, why are they drawing with the cards? One turn away.
The dang Glacial Shard.
That Glacial. Gosh darn it, Glacial Shard. You fooled it again. What about you, Admiral? What was your favorite?
Well, I think the Thunderhead. It was turning
Ooh, okay.
Thunderhead and Cult Master into a full grip of cards and decimating North America. That was my favorite
Don't
part.
say it like that. Don't say it like that.
Just being honest, my friend. Just being honest. Well, Dr. J, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, Frodan is not on the desk for this one, but I'm sure he'd love to see you again. So, you know, I'll give you a good goodbye from Frodan as well. But for everyone here in production, for myself, for Dr. J, thank you guys for joining us so much for the Boomsday Project Invitational. Log in and play some Hearthstone.